Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us for the first episode of Mindfully Strong. I'm your host, Drew Saenz. I am the starter of Mindfully Strong, as well as the founder of Team Up Health and Fitness. So Team Up is my health and fitness business that I do full time, and Mindfully Strong is really kind of a program within Team Up, and now just really a concept that I'm going to share with you throughout these different podcasts and videos to really just help you be more aware of your body when you're doing exercise, but also just really get you some different and better results from your fitness program. I think we all know we can kind of go through the day-to-day of exercise and not really produce the results we're looking for. And what we're finding through research and through working with clients is like, hey, it's not that you're doing the wrong movements. It's that you're not mindfully aware to activate properly, to use the right load, or to progress when needed. So concept of Mindfully Strong is just really here to give you the tips, tools, insight, and resources needed to build a better body through better workouts, better programs, and give you the tools and resources eventually too to get yourself some accountability and some results long term. Okay. So again, that's kind of the overview here of Mindfully Strong. And on our first episode, we are going to discuss the impact of lower body training. So I know far too well how I feel after leg day, and I know pretty well the benefits of lower body training. So this came up through a discussion with one of my longtime clients who's really become a friend, and like we were just talking about, the reasoning for lower body training, and we got into all the benefits, right? But he's just like, hey man, when we're not together and you give me a workout to do on my own, I really avoid leg day. And I'm like, why is that? And he was just going into why it's more difficult. And, the exercises are harder, get your heart rate up more, you breathe a little bit heavier. So it got me thinking like, man, there's something to this. And for my personal workouts, as of recently, I've been doing legs pretty much every day that I train in some capacity for all the benefits we're going to talk about today. Okay. So that's what kind of came up with this. I know a lot of people avoid lower body training, but I want to talk about the impact of lower body training, why your trainer is always programming it, or why it's included in pretty much every exercise program that you can come across. Okay. So first thing, what I want to talk about is like, let's make it fun. So before we get into why we do it, let's make your lower body workout fun. A lot of people program like squats, deadlifts, like all these back-to-back things. Well, if legs aren't a thing for you, then break it up, make it a little bit more fun. An example of that would be like, hey, let's do body weight squats followed by your favorite upper body exercise or your favorite core body exercise. I know for a lot of the ladies out there, you love doing glute training, right? Like glute and hip training. Sometimes that includes a lunge, but if those are something you're avoiding, let's do a little bit of those lunges or a little bit of those lower body exercises and those glute and hip movements right after. So think about a bench press and then a squat, just really giving yourself an opportunity to change that up and not program so much darn lower body after each other. So one way to make it more fun and make it more appealing is just to really split up your movements so you're not doing leg exercise after leg exercise after leg exercise. Okay. So now let's get into why we need it. Past aesthetics, right? Past just building a body that we're confident in and that we're comfortable in showing up in every day for our life, right? It's really imperative for hormone production. So it's been shown through research that the only way to improve testosterone, which is a hormone we all need to build muscle, ladies, obviously you have it less than men, but it's still needed to improve strength. The only way to improve testosterone is through squats and deadlifts, right? So those are the big body movements that we need to do to improve testosterone. Why do we need testosterone? We all need some of it to build more lean muscle, so we have less fat on our bodies and we're more functional and we're more confident within our own skin, okay? So one big purpose of lower body training is it helps our body produce the right amount of testosterone that we need to improve lean muscle mass and reduce fat mass, okay? So that's the first reason. Second reason, it is so darn important for our body to function properly, right? Think about going upstairs at your house. Think about picking up groceries from the back of your car. Think about picking up the wheelbarrow in the backyard. All of that stuff requires our lower body. And if we're not doing things to improve and strengthen our lower body, the everyday life stuff is going to make it more difficult on ourselves. So like an example would be, if you're going to have to go up and down the stairs 14 times, this is a great example. Actually, my wife, who's a work from home mother, I should say, very busy with two boys at home. She has an Apple Watch, and she tracked how many times she went upstairs. And it was like 14 times up and down during my workday. So within, 6-7 hours, she's up and down the stairs that many times. And what happens in the daily life, if we're not doing things to strengthen our body, strengthen our quads, our hamstrings, those muscles that support our joints, the daily life stuff, like the 14 trips up and down the stairs, is going to be hard on us, and it's going to make us sore, make us tired, maybe produce some low back pain that we're not accustomed to or comfortable with. So another huge benefit of doing lower body training, another impact of it, is it makes the rest of your life easier, and it takes the stress of your day-to-day activities off of your body. So it's a really good way to reduce the fatigue that day-to-day movements and activities cause us. Okay, so that's another one. Third one, why we need to do it. So the first one was for our hormone production. Second one was for our physical body function. And now third one is for our workload. Gosh, doing a lower body exercise takes so much more physical stimulus and effort than an upper body exercise. It just makes sense, right? Our muscles are bigger, joints are bigger. It takes more effort to sit down and stand up than it does to move your hands above your head, right? So if we look at that concept when building an exercise program and an exercise structure, we're going to benefit way more if we're doing more lower body work, because we're going to burn more calories, we're going to move bigger parts of our body, and we're going to tax our system more, so we have to recover more. The only true way to measure a calorie burned is through oxygen consumption, okay? So when we do higher impact stuff, such as lower body training, it depletes our body of more oxygen, so we have to consume more throughout the day, meaning we burn more calories throughout the day. So if you can include 50, 60, 70% of your workout to be lower body training, you're going to burn a ton more calories. So instead of getting upset at your trainer thinking, hey man, why am I always doing legs? It's like, hey, I'm going to burn some calories. I'm going to reduce weight. I'm going to feel amazing and be really functional in my daily life, right? So when thinking about lower body training, those are the benefits. It helps us produce the hormones we need for lean muscle mass. It helps us be more functional in daily living and have less of a physical stress of daily living on our body, right? And it really just helps us get our butt in shape, okay? So that's the main reason why it is so important. Now I want to spend just a moment diving into the movements to master. I'm not going to show you these here on this video. I'm actually going to link an instructional video to these movements in the show notes. But these are just some movements that I first learned, dating back to high school. Should have learned them as a kid, right? But dating back to high school, that I really was able to build on to help me build a good exercise routine for myself and then share with clients along the way too, okay? So the foundational lower body movements that you want to master is first a squat. That's going to be more quad and glute dominant. So a squat is typically when we have the load up top. So maybe we're holding a kettlebell at our chest. Maybe we've got a barbell on our back, but this is when the load is up top and we're working on a quad dominant movement. So squat is one. The second one is the deadlift. I'm sure these aren't groundbreaking exercises for you, but I hope it brings you some clarity on which exercises you need to do each week. So second one being that deadlift. This is more of a hinge movement where we're still using the glutes, we're still using the quads, but the focus is on the hamstring. So this is typically when the weight is going to be coming up from the floor. So you'll be picking it up and lowering it back down. So that's the second one. Third one is going to be the lunge. Single leg movements are going to be so good to help balance out any weak sides that you may have. And they're also going to really just help you feel better and feel more confident moving around with your lower body because you're working on that single side. And then third one is going to be a Romanian deadlift. We call this an RDL. I prefer to program the single leg movements because it really helps that right side versus left side dominant, helps even that out for folks. But anytime we can do that hinge movement, it's really, really good for our hamstring. So to review the movements you want to master for your lower body, the squat is the first one, followed by the deadlift, the lunge, and the Romanian deadlift, typically from a single leg if you can. So again, I'm going to link up those movements in the show notes to make sure that you can just view them and make sure you can go through them properly. But those are the really ones that you want to master. And I think from a coachability standpoint, most people do pretty well with the squat and the lunge because it's typically something that we do. We use our quads a lot in our movement, but the deadlift and the RDL are typically a little bit more difficult for folks because just in everyday living, we have overdeveloped quads an underdeveloped hamstring. So if you can really do some work to learn the hinge and the pull movement that I coach in those instructional videos of those two movements, the deadlift and the RDL, it'll really help your body function better and just help you get a more balanced frame. I think that's what we're all looking for, right? Just a more balanced frame, get more bang for our buck from our workout, and get out of pain and kind of work towards a leaner, more functional body. So again, I really think that those are the things we want to think about there in regards to movements to master those 4 movements. So again, squat, deadlift, lunge, and RDL. Okay, last thing I want to talk to you about is frequency of this lower body stuff. So I attended ASU. They have an exercise and wellness program, and at the time it was kind of general. So we dove into like exercise prescription, but we also dove into like the corporate wellness and the community wellness of things. But within that exercise prescription portion, learned a lot about frequency and volume and different age groups. And really what we want to look at is 1 day per week to maintain your current muscle mass. So if you're, 48 years old and you're already exercising, or you're already active, meaning you're walking, riding your bike, if you do strength training for just 1 day per week, you're going to maintain your current muscle mass as you age much better than if you didn't do strength training at all. Okay. Now, 2 days per week is where we really start to see improvement. We see bone density improvement. We see lean body composition improvement. So with 2 days a week, you're really going to start to see those not only maintain what you have, but improve. And again, let's focus on the lower body training because that's going to get you there quicker, right? And then when we look into the 3 and 4 days per week, that's where we're really looking at delivering some results. That's where maybe you have a goal coming up, or you want to work towards a specific event like a hike, a bike ride, etc. Those 3 to 4 days per week with the strength training is really going to help you out. And as far as your lower body goes, you can do lower body splits. So maybe 1 day you're focused on those hinge movements, 1 day you're focused on those flexion movements, but really just giving yourself not only the opportunity to explore new movements, but the frequency to get you the results you need. So 1 day a week to maintain, 2 days a week to improve a little bit as far as muscle mass goes. And then and bone mass. And when we want to deliver real results and really make some change, 3 to 4 days per week of strength training focused on lower body movements, those foundational 4 we discussed, will absolutely get you closer to your goal. So there you have it, the impact of lower body training. I know it's not sexy. It's not something we always want to do, but it'll help you improve your muscle mass, improve your body function, and improve your results. So I hope this was helpful. Again, check out those show notes for those instructional videos. I look forward to seeing you all more. And if you want a fast track result to get a better workout and more results within your fitness program, shoot me an email, Drew, D-R-E-W, @teamupaz.com. Put results in the subject line, and I'll make sure I get you the info for our Mindfully Strong results-based program. So again, thank you for being here with me. Have a phenomenal day. We'll catch up soon.
I'm feeling good. My room is empty. All it has is a guitar and a snare drum. I bang on it. Is this life? I guess it's fine. Oh, what? I got little paintings on my socks, right? I got little ducks on my boxers. I'm essentially a man child. I don't think I'll ever change. Whenever I